Okay, so we're going to do NFS, and what I have here is an NFS server.sh, and it's saved over in my scripts folder. So student scripts, and then the file saved like that. Okay, so then we do pound exclamation mark slash bin slash bash in order to select bash. We need to install NFS. So that's what we're doing next here. All NFS. Start and run NFS. NFS. Of course, we just do, we're doing the -y here so we don't have to say yes to it. It makes life easier. And then we're going to do system CTL here, enable NFS.service. This turns it on so that when we boot up, it comes up automatically. And then system CTL, make it start right now. And system CTL space start space NFS.service to make it start right away. Now we're going to create a group called staff, add group staff here, and then we're going to echo creating user student here, so that makes a group staff. And then now we're going to create the user student. Now we already have the user student, but if we didn't, this would make it create the user student. So user add here space -g space staff space student, and what it's going to do is going to take the group staff and make that the group of student, and then now student will be a part of group staff. And then on top of it here, we're going to pass the password word here to the actual password of student. So this literally makes the password for student password. So the password for student is password. We echo that out to let the user know that. That runs the script. Okay. And so this is a really cool way. So kind of what's going on here is we're just passing this word password. We're passing that to the standard in of the actual terminal, and then the command we're running at the terminal is passwd, which is setting the password. So essentially, this passes the password text to the password program, which is passwd, for the user student, and it sets the password to password for student. Believe it or not, it's really cool. This is a TTY type method, and we're going to TTY1 for the terminal, which is the port, or shall we say the port for the terminal, and you can actually run it across there for the connection. You can pass things to the terminal like you would a server, like networking, and that's literally what we just did there. So mkdir / NFS server just makes this directory NFS server. And then we're going to change the owner of this for student. So chown student / NFS server, and then change group chgrp staff / NFS server. So now the group is staff. And we're going to chmod to 770. So let's just kind of move this down some here so we can see what we're doing. All right, so then we have our, so we set our group, right, staff for NFS server here, and then the next one here we're going to set a permission. So chmod 770 / NFS server. Okay, awesome. So NFS server here is going to have read, write, execute permissions for the user, read, write, execute for group, and then nothing for everyone else. And then make directory here /home / student / NFS client. So here we're going to make our NFS client directory right here. And then we're going to make our, and then we're going to change the owner of it. So chown student / home / student / NFS client. Remember, running as root when we run the script, so therefore we need to change the owner of it, because it's going to create the owner of the folder is going to be root by default when we create something with root. And the group is also going to be root, so we need to switch that over to staff. So we're going to do chgrp to change it to staff / home / student / NFS client. And then we're going to do chmod 770 / home / student / NFS client. So that way change the ownership to read, write, execute for the user, read, write, execute for a group, and then no permissions for everyone else. And then we're going to say echo, and this will be NFS server. I'm going to make it for every IP address. That's what the star is for, right? This does all IP addresses and IP address ranges. And then we're going to say open parentheses, read, write, comma, sync here, close parentheses, close quotes, and then we're going to append this to /etc/exports, which is the main configuration file for NFS. This file makes up about 90–95% of NFS and is the most important file in NFS. If you don't know anything else, know what /etc/exports is, because this is essentially NFS. Alright, so now if I wanted to set a particular IP address range here, like I could actually set the IP address here, and then I could do a colon afterwards, and then I could set what its range is by doing like a broadcast here. So we do 255.255.255.0 here, and as you can see, this will make it go from 10.71.108.0 through 10.71.108.255. Now, of course, you can't do .0 and .255, obviously, but it would technically be an actual range of what's usable as far as that goes. Would be 10.71.108.1 through 10.71.108.254. So yeah, 1 through 254 as always. And then besides that, we have echo here, #/NFS server, and then so this is how we set this up. And of course we made it read write and we sync it. Cool. Close quotes here, and then we're redirecting that into exports, so it pens it. So it pens it to the exports file again. And then we're going to say export fs-r. And what this does is it restarts, or export fs refreshes the folder database here for the servers for what folders we're sharing with clients. So this is basically setting up this folder NFS server to be shared with clients. And we're acting as a server and client on this deal. Now you could actually network with your other fellow students if you like, and they would be able to actually mount your drive if so desired. And so that's possible. Alright, so just mount here. And then we're just going to say localhost because this is the actual server address for ourselves. You know, this is how you point back to yourself. If you want to mount another student's server, you would put their IP address here or their server name. And if you did use server name, you'd have to have the server name inside of your host file in there with their IP address, so that way you could actually find them on your system. But if you don't want to go through all that, you can just put in the IP address. Of course, if you're doing this for real, you would go through that. So localhost here /NFS server /home/student/NFS client. And that will connect the NFS server folder to our client NFS folder on our system. So this NFS server folder is acting on the server side, and that's why we have, of course, the server here, localhost. And then the other part here, /home/student/NFS client, is the directory to our folder that we're going to mount it to on our client side. So this is how we're doing both server and client on the same computer. All right, and then we're just going to go down here and we're going to echo out in here, and I put a # in front of it, localhost /NFS server /home/student/NFS client /NFS defaults /0 close quotes, and then greater than /etc/fs tab, which is file system table. Okay, so what's that about? Well, this is where we're setting it up to where it can boot up. So this would mount at boot. So mount at boot the NFS server folder /NFS server, and we would mount it to NFS client folder /home/student here /NFS client, like that. And so that's what happens. Now the downside to this, and I want to point this out real quick. The downside to using fs tab file, and there's definitely a downside to this, is that when you do this, it will actually, if the NFS server is down, the NFS clients, the client machines, cannot boot up until the NFS server is up and running again. Oh, there's some added pressure. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, so not cool. That's why we're putting a # in front of it. I don't like this method. Of course, this is how you do it, obviously, but this is not a good method for how to do this stuff. So there's a much better method. It's called AutoFS. We're going to do that in the next script for the next tutorial. And it's something you always want to use. Is just use AutoFS. Don't use NFS FS tab. unless your boss requires you to do it, don't do it, because you're going to run into this problem. And if you have like 1,000 computers and they can't boot up, then it's just going to be locked up, and then you're going to be trying to get 1,000 computers up and going instead of just fixing your server. So that really sucks. That's not a good method for doing it. Of course, the best idea is just get the server up and going again so that everybody can boot up. But regardless, it's everybody's down in the company until you get that done. Now it can screw up after the NFS server can go down after everybody's booted up, and you'd be fine. But and they just lose that connection. But if it happens before they boot up, you're in deep water. You're in a lot of trouble. So it's not cool. So because of that, I highly recommend that you don't take that method and don't use fstab. Also, make sure you set 0, here, because one of the things we want to make sure we do here is we don't allow them to FISC our NFS server drive when they boot up. So there's another problem. If you have umpteen clients FISCing your server, and that should never ever happen, then they're trying to balance the inodes on the server, and then that's going to cause a lot of problems. Not to mention a tremendous amount of internet traffic, and all that could end up happening at boot time. So there's another reason you wouldn't want to use fstab. This is not the best method. It's an older method. It's what we had to work with back when. And so that was the only way we could do it. But now we got a much better method with AutoFS, and so you definitely want to use AutoFS instead. So here we go, SU student here. And we need to change it to student. And so that's why we have to put into another script here, because once we SU over into student, it's going to immediately exit out of the shell, and then that'll be the end of that. So save here. Get that typed up. All right, so next one here is touch /home/student/ so this is the next script. Sorry, the next script you're going to save, you're going to come over here to File, Save As, and you're going to save it as NFS Server 2.sh. So save it as that right there inside your scripts folder. Okay, cool. And this one's going to be touch here to create a new file /home/student, because we're testing it out now that we set it up. /home/NFS client space. I'm sorry, not space. /stuff.txt. And so this one, oh boy. This one, if only I can make it do it. One other thing we should probably do at the top here, we always should do it. Didn't do it, should have done it. /bin /bash, like that. Alright. Always good to tell what shell you're going to use, just in case. So that way you don't run into a problem of, oh, they had SISH instead, and oh, this command wasn't compatible with SISH or TISH or any of the other ones. So we're just make sure it's set to born to bash shell, and that way it always works. So touch here /home/student/NFS client /morestuff.txt. That works. We're just creating test files to show that, hey, it works. Here we're going to create a directory for the heck of it to test it out. So mkdir /home/student/NFS client/test. And then we're going to create another file. And this will be touch here /home/student/NFS client/test/test file.txt. So these are test files and folders for NFS client. Alright, so what happens is when this gets created, when we create these on NFS client, it doesn't actually get created on the client, it actually gets created on the server. And it'll actually be in /NFS server. So yeah, so it'll actually go to NFS server. And we can prove this. This is pretty cool. Here we're going to echo out ls here /home/student/NFS client, so that we know this is the directory we're seeing the contents of. So that way we know what's going on. And then we're just going to ls /home/student/NFS client. And then we're going to echo out that, hey, we're getting ready to ls the /NFS server. And when we do, we'll ls right next to it, right below it, sorry, is ls /NFS server. And when we do, the files will actually match between the two. And this will mean that everything went hunky-dory and it worked great. No problems. So what you do now with both of these here, and you're going to save now this file here, you just run it. You run it. So you're going to run the first one here versus NFS server.sh, and then you're going to run NFS server 2.sh. And you simply just do it. Now make sure you root ahead of time here, of course. So say I want to come in here now and run this script. So I'm going to do su dash dash here first off, and then I'm going to go into scripts. Okay, ls NFS star, so I don't mind looking through everything here, right? And then I'm going to say chmod plus x NFS server .sh. Do the same thing on the second one, etc. like that. And then I can just say sh if I want, or I could do a dot slash, either one. If I do sh here, NFS server .sh like that. And then yours will work. And then if you run it again, sorry, then you run 2 here at this point, and there you go. And you can see that, yeah, it all worked perfectly, and our test came out perfect. So bam, that was it. And so basically all I need is a screenshot of this last part here with it running, and I need both your scripts uploaded. But that's it, and that shows that it works, and there's no mistakes. So very cool. And you can see that, yes, these files indeed are actually on the server and on the client. Exactly. All right, so in the next video, for the next assignment, we're going to use AutoFS. We're going to create AutoFS to automate this and make it really easy where you can just access it from the server side. Thank you very much.